Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. So for today's video, guys, I'm so excited, but we're finally going to be reviewing the new Jaclyn Cosmetics Luxe Legacy Collection. This is the entire collection right here. I bought it myself. This is not sent to me in PR. So you guys want to know what my thoughts are on this collection. Is it actually worth it? Well, then definitely keep on watching. Okay guys, so I have to say, launch day is always so stressful. I hate launch day, but I will say that shopping on Jaclyn Cosmetics is really easy. I don't know if they change things up, but shopping on launch day has actually gotten really easy with them. And I really do love the fact that they do bundles because it makes it so much easier for me. It's definitely a little bit more cost efficient. And I also love they finally introduced Afterpay. So I bought the entire lip and eye kit. This retails for $290. It's gonna include all the liquid lips, lip liners, eye base, and eyeliners, plus the Dear Mom limited edition palette. But I did have to pay for the setting powder and the spray separately because those were not included in the kit. Mind you guys, I did pay for this all myself. I'm not on Jaclyn Cosmetics PR list, so this is all paid for by me. So just in case anyone always wants to come after me for saying, oh, you're biased or this or that, guys, I paid for this myself. Like, I'm not on the PR list. But I will say that regardless of my love for Jaclyn Cosmetics and Jaclyn Hill, I'm going to be very honest in this review. If I like things, that's amazing. If I don't, that is okay too. So I'm very excited because when Jaclyn announced this collection, I was like, oh, it's such an endearing collection. Like, to see her create something with her mom, like, how cool is that? And I wish I could have my mom in today's video, but you know, we have a lot of things going on right now. My uncle passed away last week, so my mom's actually getting ready to go back home to West Virginia, so she's not able to be in this video today, but I will insert a picture of her. This is my wonderful mom. I love her so much. She has always been so supportive, and I definitely love the fact that Jaclyn created a collection around her mom, because it truly is a legacy that she can pass down to her kids and their kids and so on and so forth. And it's just really cool to see that bonding moment between Jaclyn and Robin, and the fact that Robin has been so supportive of Jaclyn's career since day one. Like, I love that. Like, I truly do love that mother-daughter bond. I love that they did this together, and I'm just so excited to dive into this and really like try it out for myself. So this is going to be a long review, so buckle up, guys. We're going to go ahead and dive right on into this. Now, first things first, we do have the Jaclyn setting spray right here. And I love the fact that, like, I'm assuming this is Robin's signature. Like, I'm assuming that's her signature, way better than mine. But this is an all set setting spray. It says lock in your looks with this refreshing setting facial spray. Shake well before use, close eyes, and mist face to set makeup. So I really do love the fact that it came in this packaging because it's very, very on brand with Jaclyn Cosmetics. If you guys look at her concealers or her face tint and everything else, this is very, very much on brand for Jaclyn. So I'm just genuinely curious to see how this smells. So it's supposed to be like a lavender, like, eucalyptus smell, I believe is what I saw. I definitely smell more mint than lavender. I've seen a lot of people say this smells too heavily in lavender. I smell mint. Like, honestly, this smells like this smells like tea tree. It smells like tea tree oil. Like, that is exactly what this smells like. I feel like I'm about to go sit in a spa and have like have a facial done. Like, ooh, okay. So I'm genuinely really curious to see how well this works. And then we do have the powder move. This is a loose setting powder. Now, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm very particular about my setting powders. As you guys know, when I did the Jaclyn face complexion review, I was not a fan of her setting powder. I wasn't a fan of her original translucent setting powder because of the fact that it did have a little bit of lumosity to it. It had some like microfine glitters, and as a really, really oily person, that's the last thing I wanted. So I did not care for that setting powder, along with like the under eye brightening loose powders as well. Wasn't a fan, but I will say I have been obsessed with the Face It All brightening palette, like to the point that, like, look, your girl hit pan right here, and I'm about to hit pan on this one. Like, how freaking amazing is that? I never hit pan on anything for the mere fact that since I do review makeup as a living. I have so much of it, so it's really hard for me to hit pan, but you guys can tell I love something when I'm literally hitting pan, and this is about to hit pan as well. Like, that speaks volumes. So I'm really curious to see how well this setting powder is. I did get the shade Sheer Fair, and the only reason I got the shade Sheer Fair is because when I saw Paige Corn do her review, that's the shade that she used, and her and I have very similar skin tones. So I'm really hoping that I like this powder today. Jaclyn said this is gonna be like a viral loose powder, so we're definitely gonna put that to the test, especially on my oily skin. Next, we did roll out the first eye base right here. So this is how it actually looks. Very, again, on point. I do love the packaging, and this is supposed to have like a sheerness to it, where you're supposed to like go on to the, you're supposed to put this on like almost like a clear base. It's not supposed to have any tackiness to it. It's supposed to really smooth out the eye, because this is really more created for an older, mature skin. So this is supposed to be very soft and smoothing. So we're really gonna have to put that to the test today. Putting it on right now, it just feels very silky smooth. So I'm really curious to see how the eyeshadow is going to perform on that. Then Jaclyn rolled out with 5 eyeliners. Now, if you guys know me, you guys know that I am obsessed with ColourPop Creme de la Gel liners. Like, those are my absolute favorite liners in the entire world. They're $8 a piece. They're truly phenomenal. And then I also am obsessed with the Urban Decay 24-Hour Glide On liner in the shade Perversion. That's my absolute favorite. So I really am curious to see how these are. I'm going to quickly swatch them for you. I really hope I like the formula, because I'm very particular about eye stuff. All right, so these are the eye pencils right here. I'm gonna quickly swatch them on my hand. I do love how these are packaged. Like, these are super cute. And I love that every single collection that Jaclyn comes out with, she does a different style packaging. I actually think it's actually pretty neat. So here's a swatch of all the liners. I would definitely say these swatched beautifully. They went on very, very nice. They glided right on, just like my Urban Decay one and my ColourPop one. I will say I do wish that she had different colors. Again, I understand why she created these colors. Like, I would have loved it if Jaclyn would have created a nude eye base as well as a white eyeliner, because you guys know I'm obsessed with white eyeliner. So those have been the ones I really would have gravitated to. But I understand why she chose the colors that she did. So I'm really curious to put these to the test today to try them out to see how well I like them. But so far they are swatching really nicely, and they are not moving. So it's actually really nice as well. I really do enjoy that fact. Next, Jaclyn rolled out with 4 new colors of her Pout Spoken collection, as well as 4 lip liners right here. Now, I saw in Jaclyn's video that she talked about how her lip liners are completely underrated, and I would definitely have to agree with her. Her lip liners are my absolute favorite lip liners in the entire world. This right here, this is the shade Bourbon. Do you guys see how small this is getting compared to like her normal lip liner? Do you guys see? I am definitely going through the shade Bourbon. This is my second one. I have a backup because the fact that this is my absolute favorite lip liner in the entire world. I wear Bourbon every single day. I mix and match it with Lunar Beauty, with Jaclyn Cosmetics, with anything out there. I literally use this every single day. If Jaclyn discontinues Bourbon, I'm gonna freaking cry, because this is truly my favorite. And then my second favorite from Jaclyn with the lip liner is the shade Toasty. Love Toasty so much, and it pairs so beautifully with Gratitude. So I will definitely say, when she said in her video that her lip liners are underrated, I definitely have to agree with her, because those are truly one of the best lip liners I have ever tried. I will swatch the lip liners, and I will swatch the lip liners, and I will swatch the liquid lips. So I'm gonna do that when I zoom you guys in, because the last thing I'll talk to you guys about is this eyeshadow palette right here. And I did get the Dear Mom one because I really wanted to have the limited edition palette. I love the fact that she has her and Robin on here. Like, how cool is that? Like, it really just like makes me want to go, I wish I could do that with my mom. Like, that is so sweet. And then on the back to have photos of all the different moms on here, like, that is just truly amazing. I think it's such a beautiful collection, and I think that anyone who's a mom out there would really appreciate and love the message that Jaclyn created with this. And I just find it so endearing. Like, I really do, because every single one of my friends, like minus like 1 or 2, are moms, and they all tell me about the journey of motherhood. I see the good and the bad. I see my own relationship with my mom, and it just, I think it's such a special bond, and I think this is such an endearing palette. And I really love the fact that she came out with this, especially for like Mother's Day. I think it's super cute. So besides the outside packaging, we're going to take a look at the inside. This is the first time that Jaclyn has ever rolled out with an eyeshadow palette, so I'm really curious to see how the formula is. So here we have the special Dear Mom with the little J right here. I love it. And then when you open it up, here is the shadow right here. It says, "Thank you for raising me to be the woman I am today. All my strength and best attributes are a direct reflection of you. You are my favorite role model, my forever best friend. Thank you for choosing to be my mom. This one's for you." That is incredibly sweet. So here we have the eyeshadow palette right here. Now, I will say this, and I mean this in all honesty, this is definitely not my favorite color scheme. You guys know that I am a color whore true and through. I definitely have started to become a neutral bitch, but this color scheme is definitely very muted, definitely more of a cool tone and not my particular color scheme. But I will say I understand why she created it. Like literally this is geared more towards the older, mature audience out there. So I can see why they would want a color story like this compared to something like me, who's obsessed with like Blend Bunny, for example, which is all a colorful palette. So I can definitely understand why Jaclyn created something like this, especially with her mother creating it, because this is something that I can see my mom wearing. Like this is something that my mom personally would gravitate to more than all the colorful palettes in my collection. So definitely not my preferred color choice in this palette. Regardless of that, I'm not here to review the color scheme. I'm here to physically review the formula and try out the formulas. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in. We're going to swatch the lips and the liquid lips, a few of the swatches of the palette, and we're going to get this look started. I'm really going to try things out to the best of my ability, give you guys my full unbiased review, because again, regardless of my love for Jaclyn, I'm here to give you guys a review, and I'm going to be honest if things work and if things don't work. So let's go ahead and get zoomed on in. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch the lip liners and the liquid lips together. There's no point in me just showing you guys a swatch of lip liner and then swatch a liquid lip, because they are literally the exact same shade. But there's something I do want to point out. I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but I really do kind of like the fact that Jaclyn did something a little bit different. So this is the component for her liquid lip. This is from the Pout Spoken collection. This is right here. This is from her collab with her mom. Do you guys see a little bit of a difference? Like this has a soft gradient where it goes from black to clear so you guys can see the liquid lip color. And then this is just all black with just a little bit of a color peeking through. I think it's kind of cool that she did something just a little bit different to kind of show the difference between her Pout Spoken collection and the collab that she did with her mom. I really do appreciate the subtle difference. I haven't seen anyone talk about that, but it's something I was like, hey, look, it's different. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how well I'm gonna like these colors for the mere fact that I don't like pinks. Like I love more of like a mauvey brown, brownish red lips. So it's kind of hard for me to get into light pinks. I don't know how well they're gonna look on me, but the formula I know is gonna be amazing. Like I know that would be amazing. So I'm kind of nervous because again, I don't do these particular colors. So let's see what we're gonna start off with. We're gonna go into the shade Hope first. Here's it swatched on my hand. I just want to quickly point out that the shade Hope kind of blends in with my natural lip. Do you guys see that? Okay, so this is that shade Hope. Definitely not a color for me. I am not a fan of this color at all. It's very too pale, very too muted, very almost blends in with my natural skin tone and my lip. It's just not a pretty color for me. However, I feel like if you have a deep skin tone, this would actually look really beautiful on you. Just not for me. But I will say that even though the shade isn't for me, this can be used as a great topper in a sense where I like to take the shade Be Bold and then I put Gratitude mixed in with it, and then I take the shade Oh Hi and I tap in the center, and it really helps to brighten up that look and give me like a really multi-dimensional lip look. It gives me like a really like ombre lip look. I love the effect of it. So I feel like this is that same style liquid lip for me, where I'm just gonna mixing this with other colors to create the desired effect I'm looking for, but definitely not a shade I'd wear by myself. Just it's just not for me. Not for me. All right, next we're gonna go into the shade Faith. Okay, so here's the shade Faith, and I'm not gonna lie, this is very similar to the shade Love. I don't see too much of a difference except just a little bit of a darker hue. Again, this is a color that I would not wear by itself. It's just too pinky for me, too pale for me, and I just don't like how it looks on me personally. And I'm sure if it was mixed with other makeups, it could look pretty, but again, it's just not really my color. This isn't the color that I would typically go for, but again, it could definitely be used to mix on top of other liquid lips out there. But this is the shade Faith. This is the shade Sweetheart. Okay, so here is that shade Love. Now this is definitely more of my color scheme. It's a little bit deeper. It's a really beautiful color. I'm not gonna lie, this is something that I can see myself picking up. Definitely timed it. This is something I could definitely see myself gravitating to and picking up. This is a very gorgeous color. It's just a little bit deeper in tone, which is something that I generally look for when it comes to liquid lip. And I feel like mixing this possibly with either Love or Faith would be really pretty with a nice little gloss on top. So this is actually really nice. So this is the shade Love. The shade I just showed you was the shade Sweetheart, not Love. I'm looking at the shade Love next. I kept saying Love. That was the shade Sweetheart, not Love. This is the shade Love that's in my hand next. I just don't want to put it back on because my lips are already hurting from doing the swatches. But this is the shade Love that I'm swatching next. Okay, so here's the shade Love. This is the shade Hope, Faith, Sweetheart, and Love right here. Okay, so this is the shade Love. It's a very beautiful, beautiful shade. I can definitely see myself wearing this all the time. I could also see myself mixing Sweetheart and Hope and Faith into this as well to kind of brighten it up, do a nice little beautiful ombre lip. I know it's not perfectly lined right now because I'm about to take it off, but this is the shade Love. It is really, really beautiful. Okay, so next I just kind of wanted to swatch some of the shimmers in this palette. That is such a pretty silver, like super pretty. I will definitely say that these aren't as creamy as I thought they would be. Like they're not as creamy and buttery as other shimmers I have definitely swatched in the past have been. However, I will say that the pigment is definitely there, the shine is there, so I'm definitely eager to put these on my eye. I just wish they were a little bit softer to touch. And I noticed that the shade Thankful right here, I noticed that this shade right here is kind of popping up. The glue has definitely come off of the shade and like it's literally falling out. They keep pushing it back in. So that's something that's a little bit of a bummer. I can't get this shade to stay in here, but I will say that as soon as I'm done doing this review, I'm just gonna take eyelash glue and I'm done filming to glue that shade back down. But that shade has definitely come out. It's holding on by a little thin line. It's not wanting to stay, it keeps popping up, but you know, things happen, it is what it is. So I'm gonna quickly do my brows. We're gonna come back and we're gonna start to do this eye look together because I'm really curious to see how these shimmers perform, how the eye primer works with it, and how the mattes are. So I'll be right back, guys. My face is like stained because it's liquid lips. Okay, so we're gonna go into the Jaclyn First Base Eyeshadow Primer and we're gonna put this on to see how it is. This kind of reminds me of like the Urban Decay like shadow primer. And it also reminds me of like the Alter Ego primer as well. So I'm just gonna take it and kind of like just start to place that in. It is very, very, I don't know how to describe mine other than like, it looks wet. mine just looks wet. But I guess it's supposed to smooth this out. So if you have like any fine lines or wrinkles on your lid, like I do, this is supposed to help you know, this is supposed to help to smooth it out. So we're just gonna kind of tap that in. And it definitely has a clear base to it. Like it looks just like my normal lid. I mean, you can kind of see a difference. And you can kind of see where it definitely has smoothed it out just a bit, but I could obviously still see my lines. Okay, so we're gonna go into this palette. I love the fact that I have the Dear Mom one. It's so cute. We're gonna go into the shade Thankful right here. This beautiful, beautiful silver color. Oh, it is such a gorgeous color. We're gonna take that, put that in the inner corner. I kind of wish I had my mom here so I can kind of gauge her reaction because my mom doesn't really wear much makeup. The makeup that my mom does wear is like Clinique. She loves, loves, loves Clinique. Wow, that is so shiny. Do you guys see that? She is obsessed with Clinique. She has been my whole life, and she's definitely tried some products I have recommended, but mostly she just like sticks to Clinique. So I'm generally curious to know like what her thoughts on this palette would be because she definitely is older, you know, so I'm kind of curious to see how she would, what type of eye look she'd create with this. I'm going to go into the shade Tootsie right here. I'm going to place that right next to that silver. I kind of want to do something like a little easy today just for the mere fact I generally want to try out this palette for the formula and see how nice it is. Like it's so cool to see Jaclyn finally roll out with eyeshadow. I'm waiting for her to come out with like brows and eyelashes because that would be freaking phenomenal, and foundation. But I would really, really want to ask Jaclyn, please make some stuff for like oily skin. I know you love your dewy skin products, but I'm so oily. It's so hard. It's so hard because so many brands out there really cater towards the radiant, luminous skin. And I'm like, but what about us oily folks over here? I really want to go into like this Hunter Green, which is the shade Moo right here. And we're gonna start to tap that right next to this. This is gonna be kind of a very easy eye look. This palette doesn't require you to have something so intensive and so, you know, and so intensive. Like you can definitely do like an everyday neutral with this, but you can definitely smoke it out and do like a really soft look with this as well. I feel like it's definitely a very, very, very wearable everyday palette. Now tapping into this matte shade, I do notice that there's definitely a little bit of kick up in the pan, but it's not bad at all. And that is very much a gorgeous, gorgeous olive green. Like this is a color that I am obsessing over. Wow, that is such a pretty green. Oh my God, like that's such a pretty green. Oh my God, that is such a pretty green. That is like such a gorgeous ass green. I can't get over how deep and olively that green is. Like that could really be smoked out. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of blend this out just a bit. Right here. I want to take the shade Biscuit right here. Very lightly, I'm going to tap that in. Just to kind of go over the green just a tad to kind of blend it out. This is what I do whenever I have like really intense shadows, I take setting powder actually, and I kind of blend it at the top so it can be a little bit more blended, just because I'm not the best at blending, and I'll gladly admit that. But it just helps to kind of like give that illusion that I am. But since there's that shade, it kind of gives me that setting powder effect without actually having to grab setting powder. Now, before I move on to the other eye, I want to quickly do something that I saw Jaclyn do a long time ago, and that's to take the shade Because I Said So right here. I freaking hate that saying. My mom used to say it to me all the time. I'm going to take it on my flat liner brush right here, and this is something that Jaclyn taught me. Now, I know that she has the liners right here, but I'm going to use those liners for my waterline, my underwater line. This is for my upper waterline. I'm not very good at eyeliner. Just point blank, I'm not good at it. But Jaclyn had taught me, like she taught me personally, you know, we go way back, that if you take powdered shadow, you can literally take here and you can just stamp it on your upper waterline. And I just kind of stamp it in right where my lashes meet my skin. I don't know how to put it. And I just stamp it in right here. And this gives me that liner effect without actually have to put on eyeliner. And because it's shadow, it does stay on all day. For me, it stays on all day. And this is just so easy to work with. And if you mess it up, because it's shadow, it's so easy to fix compared to like a liquid liner. So this is just all I do. Every time I put on false lashes, I just put on black eyeshadow right where the waterline meets my lashes, just so that I could have something blended when I actually put on lashes. Let me just quickly do the other eye off camera, and we're gonna come back to do the rest of the face together. I'm gonna try out this setting powder, really put it to the test. I'm gonna do my under eyes, we're gonna put on the lips, and we're gonna see, what's this collection worth? Like, I don't know, the $300 I spent on it. All right, so I just put on foundation and concealer, so we're gonna quickly go into my Face It Brightening Palette. Just I quickly wanna set this underneath my eye before the concealer dries down. We're gonna go into this right here. I freaking love the packaging. It's so freaking beautiful. Put some in the cap, and we're gonna take it on my damp beauty sponge, tap off the excess, and we're gonna start to just pounce that into the skin like so. I don't notice a smell with it, so that's nice. All right, I'm gonna take my large powder brush. This is from my collection Bling brushes. You guys can use code Allie to save you guys 10% off your purchase. I'm gonna quickly just kind of go over the face. Why does my skin look like that? So this is supposed to be kind of sheer, and it is, but oh no. This looks really shiny. Make some moves with Jaclyn Hill's powder. Make some moves with Jaclyn Hill's Powder Move Loose Setting Powder. Blurs and smooth the appearance of skin while setting makeup with a soft, focused finish and a subtle radiance. Good for skin ingredients like Jaclyn, help lock in moisture, while key amino acid and aloe delivers silky feel while calming skin. Fill them powdered. The first ingredient is mica, which is a illuminating base. That's what you find in highlighters, and I just put that all over my face. No, okay. Wow. Okay, well, let me set the face. Whew, that smells like a spa. Let me set the face. Let me pounce that back in. Oh, I am shiny. Okay, so before we move on to like the bronzer and blush and all that stuff, we're gonna go ahead and finish off the eyes while my skin is like settling in. So I kind of want to do like a smoky eye look, which is something that I haven't done. I kind of want to do like a really smoky eye look. So I'm going to be brave, and I'm gonna take this black shade right here, Because I Said So, and we're actually gonna place that along the waterline, and then we're gonna blend it out with Moo, because I really want to do like a smoky olive green look. So we're literally just gonna take this, and we're just placing this along the waterline like so. I am being really brave because I typically don't do this drastic of an under eye because it's kind of scary when you do. So I'm just gonna take this and place this right here. And then we're gonna go into the shade Moo. And we're actually gonna blend that black shade out right underneath that. Okay, so I kind of want to spice it up just a tad, and I'm going to take that shade Apple Pie right here, the one that's kind of coming off, and we're going to put it on this little like brush right here, and we're actually going to like tap that on to the lower lat. We're gonna tap that on to kind of blend on top of that shadow, just to add a little bit of extra oomph to this look. Then I'm gonna go in with smooth black right here to line my waterline. I'm genuinely curious to see how this liner is. Ooh, that's really adding the dramatic look that I'm going for. So, okay, so I'm gonna quickly finish off the face off camera. I'm gonna finish off this other eye, and then we're gonna come back to do the lips together to complete this look. And then I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this collection. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the shade French Silk, this shade right here. We're gonna put that in the inner corner as well as the brow bone. And then that will complete the eye look today. And then we're gonna move on to lips. So I'm just gonna take this very lightly and just kind of place it right here, very subtle. Okay, now I'm gonna spray the face. I'm about to go get my massage. That's what it smells like. Okay, so moving on to lips. So we're gonna go ahead and line our lip with the shade Love. We're gonna use this today. All right, let me quickly line my lip. We're gonna go back in with that the same shade Love. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with the shade Sweetheart right here. We're gonna actually tap that on the lip and we're gonna mix them together. I'm just gonna take it. Then we're gonna mix. Then I'm gonna take the shade Faith and we're gonna tap that right in the center. Part of me wants to stop here, but I kind of want to add on a lip oil to it, like a lip gloss, because I'm not one to really just do a full matte lip. It's not really for me personally. So this is how it looks right now before I apply lip oil, but I am going to go in with the shade Candy Drip. This is from Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is the lip oil, and we're going to put this on top just because I really don't like having full-on matte lips. I like having a shine to it. It just feels more comfortable for me, but I just wanted to show you guys before I put that on so you guys can see what I'm working with. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom you guys out. Alrighty guys, so this is the final look. So what are my thoughts on the new Jaclyn Cosmetics Luxe Legacy Collection? Well, I definitely have some thoughts. So the first thing we're gonna dive into is the setting spray right here. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's not my favorite smell in the world because it does kind of remind me of a spa, but I have nothing bad to say about it at all. I'm gonna definitely keep playing with it. I do wish the mist was a little bit finer because when I put it too close, it comes on a little strong, but from far away, it definitely has a really nice mist to it. It smells like I'm at a spa. I don't know how well it's gonna hold up on my skin and on my skin type and needs. I really had to play around with this to really form a judgment, but based upon first impressions, I have nothing bad to say about this in the slightest. All right, so moving on to the eyeliners. Well, I have nothing bad to say about these eyeliners. They glide on so smoothly. I wash my hands, I scrub my hands, and these did not wanna come off at all. They look really beautiful on the eye. They're very, very easy to work with. I do wish there's a little bit different color range, but I get why they are the colors that they are. But I have nothing bad to say about them. They're really great eyeliners. I loved working with them, but I will say I still do prefer my ColourPop over these, just for the mere fact that ColourPop is like half the price. These are a little bit more expensive, but again, I had nothing bad to say about them. They worked beautifully. Moving on to the lips. Now, first off, I really do like the fact that these components are just a little bit different, for sure. I love the fact that they just went pretty much all black, like shiny black, with just a little bit of color popping through. The formula is incredible. You guys know I really do love the Pout Spoken collection, so I have nothing bad to say about these. I will just say that these are just not my personal color choices, but definitely mixing and matching them is definitely the way to go in my book, just because I'm not one just to like one particular color on my lip. I always mix and match. It doesn't matter what brand it is. If you guys have followed me for some time, you guys know that I do 4 steps for Lunar Beauty. I do 4 steps for Jaclyn Cosmetics. I'm always custom making my own liquid lip just because I'm very particular about the colors. So even though these are not the colors for me personally that I wear by myself, they are definitely fun to mix and match. I really do love the combination that I created. I think it's a very gorgeous color. I mixed the shades Love, Sweetheart, and Faith together, and then I also added the Jaclyn lip oil in the shade Candy Drip. Just really love how this lip looks. It's really beautiful, very comfortable. Definitely kind of overlined my lip today, but that is what it is. It's okay, but I freaking love the liquid lips. If you guys ever get a chance, you guys need to try the Jaclyn Cosmetics Pout Spoken collection because they really are phenomenal liquid lips. The formula is amazing. Same thing with the lip liners. I have nothing bad to say about the lip liners. My favorite thing in the entire world. Jaclyn creates amazing, amazing lip liners. I think she did such a good job with these ones. And again, these colors can be used in so many different ways. I can mix and match them with all the other liquid lips that I have in my collection. So these would definitely get used no matter what. They are amazing. Now moving on to the eyeshadow base. I actually really like the eyeshadow base. It has a clear, it definitely goes on clear. It has a wet texture to it, like it feels kind of wet, but then it blends out really nicely if you tap your finger on it or use a beauty blender. And the shadows laid so beautifully on there. There was no flaking, no creasing. The mattes were super pigmented. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I was actually quite surprised with how much I enjoy this because you guys know me. You guys know I've been obsessed with the P. Louise base for such a long time. But this was incredibly nice. And I was thoroughly surprised with how smooth the application was and how smooth my eyeshadow went on with this. Like, I will be definitely putting this in like my everyday makeup drawer because of how nice this eyeshadow base is. So I'm gonna keep playing around with this. I really want to try to test this out with other colors, other brands, other formulas to really try this out. But upon first impressions, I think this is actually really nice. Same thing with the Jaclyn Cosmetics Dear Mom palette. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I actually like this palette. Now, you guys know, this is not my color scheme. This is not my color story that I'm obsessed with. I typically would never buy a palette that looks like this because I'm just not into this. I'm not into muted, cool tone, neutral palettes. You guys know me. But I will say the formula is quite nice. I was impressed. Like this shade Moo, oh my God, this is probably one of the prettiest olive greens I have ever played with. I cannot get over how gorgeous this green is. And I see myself literally keeping this on my desk just to use this green and mix it with other colorful green eyeshadow palettes that I have because this is that perfect olive green that I'm consistently looking for. I think that's a phenomenal shade. I also really do enjoy the shimmers. Now, even though when you touch them and you feel them, they don't have that creamy, buttery texture that I'm usually looking for in a shimmer, they go on beautifully. They have such a shine to them. They blend really beautifully into each other, as well as the mattes. There's no flakiness to them. There's no flakiness to them. There's no fallout on the face, and I really do enjoy that as well. Like, I was able to utilize every single shimmer on this row right here. I love this black shade, so gorgeous. This mousse shade and the shade biscuit and mashed potatoes are really nice as well. I think this is a really great palette if you are definitely looking for an everyday neutral palette, especially if you are, you know, looking for something that's very easy to wear, very easy to create an eye look with it, that doesn't take too much effort into creating something very beautiful. I definitely think this is the palette for you, and I couldn't completely understand why Robin chose this color scheme for sure, because again, this is something my mom would definitely gravitate to, especially with a lot of the neutral browns in here. This is an everyday wearable palette, so I can definitely see why it is what it is. I'm very impressed with it, so it kind of like gets me excited to see what Jaclyn's gonna come up with next in terms of an eyeshadow palette, because if she creates some colors and they're this formula, bitch, I just know it's gonna be amazing. Truly incredible. Jaclyn did such a good job with that, and so did Robin. Robin created a really good palette. Now, last but not least, we do need to talk about the loose setting powder. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And I think the reason being is because it does have that radiance to it. You guys know that I'm very oily. This is not meant for someone with my skin type and what I'm looking for in terms of a setting powder. It goes on really easily. I would definitely give it that. And it definitely does sheer itself out like it says. But I don't think it's for someone who has really oily skin like myself. I think that if you have mature skin, if you have dry skin, if you have normal skin, you might actually really like this powder. But if you have really oily skin like myself, you're not gonna like it. Like, I barely put on highlight today. I just put on the Jaclyn Brightening Up Luminous Powder right here. Very lightly touched on my cheeks because of how luminous my face already is because of this setting powder. Like, this is the type of setting powder, honest to God, I would use as a highlighter. Like, I would use this as a highlighter because it does have that radiance to it. Now, don't get me wrong. My skin looks definitely really radiant and glowy, and it looks really beautiful right now. But give it like 2 hours, I am going to be so oily. It is not going to be funny. I can already see my oil starting to shine through. I can see how shiny I am right here on my cheeks, and it just like makes me go, ugh, because I just don't like adding extra radiance when I don't need it because I'm so oily. And that's no one's fault. It's not Jaclyn's fault. It's not Robin's fault. It's just the fact that I'm a very oily girl, so this product in particular does not work for me. So if I were to miss out on anything in this launch, I would definitely have skipped out on this just because it generally isn't meant for my skin type, you know. Overall, I definitely think this collection is super cute. It's very endearing. I love the fact that she created this with her mom. I think it's such a special collection. I'm very grateful that I have it. I definitely would have probably skipped out on the powder and probably the liquid lips, just for the mere fact that those are colors I generally don't gravitate to. But other than that, I have no problem with this. I think it's a really well thought out collection. I think Jaclyn and Robin did such a good job. And I think this is really appealing to anyone out there who definitely is intimidated by color or don't want to have anything bright and bold and just want to have something that's very natural, elegant, beautiful that you can wear every single day. I definitely think this collection is for you. So yeah, guys, that is it for today. How long I've been talking with that on my lip? If you guys saw that there, I apologize. I don't know how long I've been talking with that on. That is it for today's video, guys. I will not be here tomorrow because tomorrow is Chloe's surgery. And I'm so like, oh, my baby. But I will be back on Friday for you guys. Like, I'll definitely give you guys an update then. But yeah, that is it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, so I do post 4 to 5 videos a week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's Art for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, a huge thank you goes to all these beautiful, wonderful Patreon members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye! We're finally going to be Legacy Luxe Hills products. I don't know why. This smells like tea tree. This smells like tree. This skin. Her and I have very similar. All right. Next we did roll out. Next attributes are the best. Are the best. But I will but I can see.